One of the other things that also is on the Hero Wars Olympus blog page that just came out, I believe today, is a hero critical hit chance calculator. So I did a video yesterday about the dodge calculator, and this one is pretty similar, except it's going to be specifically for critical hit heroes. So it gives a guide on who can use crit. 9 warriors, 9 marksmen, Galahad can benefit from artifacts, Jet. Who has base crit. These are the heroes that have the base crit. Crit buffers, the artifacts, Julius, Ishmael, Zhu, Sebastian, Yasmin. And then skills that do something with crit, Jet, Lara Croft, Ishmael, Yasmin, and Sebastian, right? So you can put a team here, which you can then put an enemy team and calculate the critical hit chance. Now, whenever you do that, the chance to critical hit is determined by this formula. And this is actually interesting. I didn't know this about dodge or critical hit until I saw this yesterday. Like I knew the chances obviously increase with the artifacts, all that stuff. But the crit stat is the crit hit stat over the crit hit stat plus the opponent's main stat. So the lower the opponent's main stat, so if you're fighting an agility hero and they have low agility, that's really good for higher crits. Now, in terms of base stats, this is a reference table that it also shows you, right? Most heroes have 17 to 20,000 main stat, and you can see like 8,000 is Fox's base, 15,000 is most base crit, that's 45%, and you can see crit in roughly 1 in 3 attacks, 2 in 5, about half, and as it continually adds up with buffs, now it's 65%. If you have Sebastian and buffs, it can be up to 75%. And Yasmin full buffed is 84%, which is pretty crazy. Like Yasmin, and that's why Helios is just so good against Yasmin. Yasmin is a very strong critical hit chance already, and is the strongest fully buffed. And whenever I talk about fully buffed, what I'm talking about is artifacts on the all skills leveled, all talents leveled, all ascension leveled, all glyphs leveled, all skins leveled, all that stuff, right? So that's what we're talking about whenever we say fully buffed. And that would include with Sebastian too, because Sebastian increases critical hit chance. Yeah. So you can see like how it also performs for different enemies, target goal, and only works on physical attacks. That is important. Magic and pure damage cannot crit. I'm sure if you've been playing Hero Wars for a while, you're well aware of that fact. But you don't want to really, and this is the reason why, if I can avoid Sebastian with magic teams, I do it, because a lot of Sebastian's value goes with physical attacking teams. Now, he will still stop all the effects that people will do, which can still be useful in a magic team. He's just not as good with magic heroes as he is with physical attacking heroes, or critical hit or not critical hit, pure damage heroes too, right? He's just better with those type of teams. So if you don't want to know a little bit more about how critical hit chance works, he wrote a little bit of a preview here, as well as different scenarios, so that you can test it out and figure out where you should be going with your critical hit chance. So just a cool tool. Go ahead, check it out. Again, that is HeroWarsOlympus.com blog page. Yeah. He keeps on throwing out all information.
So, let's break down how the calculator actually works. In the first tab, you'll see all heroes available. This part is mainly for creating full team setups, like classic 5 versus 5 scenarios, where you want to see how 2 complete teams interact with each other. That's great for general testing and comparisons. But if you want a more focused and precise analysis, the real power of the calculator comes when you isolate a single damage dealer. This lets you see exactly how that hero performs on critical hits when supported properly by the right heroes. Instead of guessing or relying on theory, you can clearly see how each layer of support changes the outcome. Let me walk you through a concrete example so you can see how to use it step by step. First, I'm going to choose Dante as my damage dealer and put him alone against 5 magic heroes. At this point, Dante has no external support at all. When I press calculate, you can immediately see that Dante has 0% critical hit chance. That means every attack he makes will deal exactly the damage written in his skills or his basic attack, with no chance to deal double damage. Now let's start adding support and see how things change. The first hero I add is Sebastian. When we look at the initial analysis, Dante still shows 0% critical hit chance. And this is an important moment to understand why. Dante himself has no built-in critical hit stat, so even with Sebastian on the team, nothing changes until artifacts or skills actually activate. In the second analysis, however, everything shifts. Now Dante suddenly has a 44% chance to deal a critical hit, which means double damage. This happens because Sebastian activates his artifact, which gives the entire team around 13,900 critical hit chance. That single activation completely changes Dante's damage potential. Then we move to the third analysis, and you can see the chance jump even higher, up to 65%. This increase comes from Sebastian's Battle Song skill, which boosts the critical hit stat by 131%. So what's happening here is very clear. First, Sebastian gives Dante a critical hit stat through his artifact, and then Battle Song amplifies that stat even further. This interaction is one of the main reasons why Sebastian is considered one of the strongest and most impactful heroes in the game. Now, 65% is already a very strong critical hit chance. But if you want to push it even further, you can stack additional sources of critical hit chance. You can do this by adding heroes whose artifacts also provide critical hit stats, or by including Jet, whose fourth skill gives roughly 4,500 critical hit chance to all team members. For this next step, I'm going to add Julius and Jet. Immediately, in the first analysis, you can see that Dante already has critical hit chance coming from Jet alone. That 4,500 critical hit stat translates into about a 19% chance to deal a critical hit, even before any artifacts are activated. In the second analysis, things escalate quickly. Now we have two heroes, Sebastian and Julius, whose critical hit chance artifacts can activate at the same time. These stats stack together, and when you combine them with Jet's fourth skill, the total critical hit stat climbs to around 32,000. That results in roughly a 63% chance to deal critical hits. And then comes the third analysis. Once Sebastian's Battle Song activates on top of all that, the critical hit chance jumps all the way up to 80%. At this point, Dante is dealing double damage in most of his attacks, which completely changes how dangerous he becomes in battle. Now, this entire situation looks different when the damage dealer already has a built-in critical hit stat. Take Lara Croft as an example. She starts with a base critical hit stat of around 15,000. Right from the beginning, that alone gives her about a 45% chance to deal critical hits, even without any external support. In the second analysis, when you add Sebastian's artifact, her critical hit chance increases to 61%. And in the third analysis, when Sebastian's Battle Song activates together with Lara Croft's second skill, Critical Thinking, her critical hit chance rises to 84%. That means the vast majority of her attacks will deal double damage. This is exactly why understanding these interactions matters so much, and why the calculator is such a powerful tool. It doesn't just show numbers, it shows you how support heroes, artifacts, and skills work together to completely transform a damage dealer's performance. Let's wrap it up. Critical hits aren't luck, they're strategy. When you understand how stats, artifacts, and support heroes work together, you can control your damage instead of guessing. This calculator shows exactly how to make that happen. Share your thoughts or create team ideas in the comments. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Play smart, build with purpose, and I'll see you in the next one. Salute and friendship.